Okay, welcome to another Jazz Smack post-game show where the Jazz lose to the Hawks on a Trey Young 3 from half court as time expired. An entertaining game to watch. Really, there were a lot of positives on offense. Defensively, the Jazz struggle yet again. But really, there were some positives. Like to see Lowry get on track. He made a lot of three balls tonight. Walker played really well. One of the highest scoring games of his young NBA career. And that's really encouraging. And that left-hand hook that he got off of a rebound in the fourth quarter was absolutely magnificent. That's the shot that he really needs to develop. That little left-hand hook and right-hand hook around the baskets where he can dominate smaller guys. But overall, really fun game to watch. It was entertaining. Young guys got a lot of time again with Clarkson out. So there are a lot of positives. And Keontae didn't play as well, which allowed Collier to get really significant minutes, which is terrific to see. I think overall, the two best passers on the Jazz at the current time, and the Jazz desperately need this, Collier and Filipowski. I think those are the two best passers on the team right now. Those are the two guys that see the floor the best, and I think that I would like to see those guys get more minutes moving forward, just so the ball moves better. So let's take a look at the box score and see, exactly what happened and what transpired. Looking at the minutes distribution, it's Lowry didn't play huge minutes, 31, but Walker 30, Collin 30, nearly 31, and Isaiah Collier 26. Even though he's only 1 for 6 from the field, 26 minutes is really nice. Fantastic. And he also, with the 6 rebounds, 9 assists, and against only 2 turnovers. It's really encouraging to see him in 26 minutes get 9 assists, and especially against only 2 turnovers. So wonderful, absolutely great. Filipowski, again, he didn't shoot it particularly well, but he did get 8 rebounds in only 17 minutes. So, and he didn't have a lot of assists tonight, but the good thing about Kyle is he's a ball mover and he generally makes the right pass. I'm going to try and actually come out with a video and analyze. There was a pass recently in one of the previous games that I absolutely loved, and we can contrast to where Collin had the exact same play in that exact same game, and he didn't make the right pass initially. So I think we should look at some of these instances where some of these players are making really good plays, and then contrast that against some of the times that the right play isn't made or isn't made initially. It just the ball needs to move, and it needs to move at the right time to the right people. And that's something that obviously all young teams typically struggle with. And the Jazz are no different. Unfortunately for the Jazz, though, that generally applies to the veteran players that we have on this team too. Lowry's not a natural passer. Collin's not a natural passer. That's just not who they are. And Patty Mills, obviously he only plays when there are injuries or whatever. He's not in regular minutes. But Patty Mills is not a point guard. He was never a point guard. He wasn't a point guard at St. Mary's. He's not a point guard. He's a undersized 2 guard. That's what Patty Mills is. Putting him into the ball handler position where he's trying to make plays for others, that's not going to work out well. And tonight, Patty played 18 minutes and he took 14 shots. That's not beneficial to the Jazz. That's just way too many shots in 18 minutes. So it'd be really nice to see when he does get time to have not such a quick trigger, especially when he's pulling up on on fast break and pulling up from threes when he's the ball handler and he's just jacking up threes. It would just be so much better if he just pulled the ball out and actually ran offense so that, something positive can happen for the younger players. While watching Patty Mills pull up on three when he's the ball handler and he's just dribbling up the court and then pulling up on three, I don't see that as a positive for the Jazz right now. So, Johnny 4 for 11. He didn't have a great game tonight. Obviously, he didn't shoot the ball particularly well. So, but 4 rebounds and 4 assists. I give the guy credit for contributing in other ways. Yeah, you'd like to see some steals, but it is what it is. Lowry, 15 of his 21 field goal attempts are from three. I would still like the distribution of his shot attempts to be better. I still wish the Jazz would get him the ball while he's on the move in not just threes. So I just think that his shot distribution is way too heavily weighted toward the three. And yeah, he had a great game because the threes went in tonight. 8 for 15. That's a wonderful percentage from three. But taking 15 out of 21 field goal attempts are threes. I think there are better pathways forward to maximize his value. And it's nice to see him get 6 free throws, and hit 5 of them. But still, the other thing is 2 rebounds. He plays 31 minutes, gets 2 rebounds. The 2 steals, great. I'm glad that Lowry's contributing in other ways. On the defensive end, 2 steals. That's nice to see. 1 assist and 2 rebounds are the areas that need to improve. Walker was fantastic again. Game after game, I keep saying it. I think he's the best player on the Jazz long term for when the Jazz can actually be good and competitive and compete for something. I think he's the guy, number one guy on this team at the current time. It remains to be seen what Cody can turn into. Obviously, there's still high hopes for him, and there's also high hopes for Taylor Hendricks. But Walker, for my money, I think that guy is the best bet for a long-term piece, being able to play a significant role on a really good team. I think he's the guy. I think Lowry's just not in the age group. I think he's just a little bit too old. And I think that the Jazz will be better off moving him along and getting draft assets back in return somewhere, maybe this summer or the summer after that. So moving on to Colin, I think Colin had a decent game tonight. 4 rebounds, 3 assists. 7 for 16 from the field, 2 for 3 from 3, and 8 or 9 from the free throw line. Those are all solid numbers, and he was a plus floor in plus and plus minus, and 24 points total. Really solid numbers. He played really well, and again, he's getting good minutes with Clarkson out. And also Sensabaugh didn't play, so he's getting good minutes, and that's nice to see. Now, we already mentioned Isaiah, 9 assists. I mean, that's great. Just fantastic. He throws the pocket pass better than anybody on the team. And I think that for the Jazz to be more enjoyable to watch, it's nice when he and Filipowski play, because those guys move the ball, like I previously said. And I like people to move the ball. I think people like people to pass. I mean, that's not exactly the strength of the Jazz at the current time. They just don't have a lot of passers. And people that actually not only are willing passers, but capable passers. And both of those guys are. And I think Cody Williams can actually become a decent passer too, and ball mover. And he played big minutes tonight, 29 minutes. He only took 6 shots. And that's That's fine. Making one of them obviously is an issue, but still, a rookie year, it's hard to really criticize a guy in his rookie year, only 20 something games into the season, or however many games they've played at this point. But again, 3 assists. I'd like to see a few more rebounds, but the 3 assists, 1 steal, that's positive contributions. That's great. And it's nice to see. He just needs to continue to work, and hopefully during the home stretches when he can kind of like float between G League and the Jazz and can continue to develop and get big heavy minutes in the G League where there's time, and also switch over and get some minutes with the Jazz as well. Obviously the Jazz are kind of shorthanded tonight, so that may be one of the reasons why he played without Sensabaugh and Keontae's still out. So that may be one of the reasons why he played. But other than that, Patty didn't get he took a lot of shots, but 18 minutes, not a lot of minutes. Drew Eubanks played 18 minutes. Micah played 15 minutes. So really overall, enjoyable game to watch, some positives from the young guys. And it's good to see. It's good to see the young guys getting minutes. And another thing, the Jazz really needed to lose this game. I know the guys really wanted to win. Obviously, the home fans wanted to win. After Colin made that 3 to tie the game, and it looked like it was going to overtime until Trey Young made that half-court heave at the buzzer to win the game. But the Jazz really needed to lose this game. I mean, after winning the 2 games in Florida, they needed to lose this game. They're winning too many games. The prize at the end of the season still has to be the number of the odds of getting a top 3 pick, and preferably the number 1 pick. They have to have one of the 3 worst records. Where the Jazz are right now, with such a huge talent deficit, they must get good draft odds at getting one of those top 3 picks, and preferably the top pick. That has to be the goal. The number 1 goal for this season, that's the goal. The number 2 goal, develop young players. Those have to be the top 2 goals. And the number 3 goal should be to try and get more draft assets from veteran players. So we'll see. We'll see what happens. But anyway, entertaining game to watch. I think it was really positive tonight, and happy it went as it did. And let's see what happens with the next game, and we'll have another post-game report after the following game. But anyway, until the next one, have a good night, everybody.